Why is it in this day and age that we have such a hard time treating people well? And why is it that we all seem to hate each other? Let's talk about what I've taught my children about how to treat others. For those that don't know me, my granddaughter calls me Opa. In my last 50 years on this spinning rock, I've been married for at least 27 of those years. And in that time, I've raised 4 children. Let's get into this discussion. The principle of being good to others shows up in almost every religion and culture around the globe. In Christianity, it's known as the Golden Rule. Jesus said, "Do unto others as you would have them do unto you." In Buddhism, it appears as treat not others in ways that you find yourself hurtful. In Islam, the Prophet Muhammad taught, "None of you truly believes until he wishes for his brother what he wishes for himself." In Hinduism, one should never do that to another which one regards as injurious, love that word, to oneself. Confucius expressed it as, "Do not impose on others what you yourself do not desire." So this agreement across many different systems and cultures suggests something profound, that this principle taps into something fundamental about human nature and about social harmony. It's not just a nice ideal. It's a foundation for a functioning society. As a matter of fact, modern science has started to find what philosophers and spiritual teachers have known for centuries. When we treat others well, our brain releases chemicals that create feelings of connection and bonding. These chemicals actually reduce anxiety and increase our overall sense of trust and empathy. Dr. Emma Spalla from Stanford University found that connecting with others in positive ways essentially counteracts stress. So you can be having a bad day and show some kindness to somebody else and actually improve your own day. So let's break down in some everyday situations where this principle might make a huge difference. So let's talk first about at work or at school. So when a person joins a company, greet them kindly. And remember how it felt to be a newcomer. I can tell you that as an introvert by nature, first day at a new job is almost like a step into hell. But it gets better over time. But when I started one of my jobs, I hadn't been there very long, and one of the long-term employees was always rude to me when I had questions that I wanted to ask. That almost caused me to quit. Next one, give credit freely and acknowledge others' contributions publicly. Everybody likes, well, most people like to get compliments. Provide constructive feedback in private and with genuine desire to help. If you have an issue with somebody, take them to lunch or pull them aside and discuss your differences or grievances in private. Don't blow up, start yelling at them in front of everybody. Celebrate other people's successes. And even if you're like me and you don't really like being praised for your efforts, it's always nice to praise other people. So in our personal relationships, we need to practice listening instead of always just waiting for our turn to speak. There is a reason why we were given 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we flap our gums. Remember the important details about people's lives and follow up on them. Take some interest in mankind, humankind around you. How was that concert that you went to? How'd your mother's surgery go? How'd your friend's childbirth go? If someone asks for your assistance, like a neighbor needing some help with a task, make sure that you're respecting their time. You're showing up at the time that you said that you were going to show up, and you're ready to do the work. If you mess up, apologize sincerely when you make a mistake, and don't just be looking for excuses to get out of it. Now, this next one's going to be a little bit tricky for some. But respect for others also means respect for their life differences, whether that's their race, their religion, or even their partner preferences. We should celebrate the differences and the uniquenesses of others. For our online interactions, don't be a troll or a keyboard warrior. Before you go posting a comment, especially on this channel, ask yourself if you'd appreciate receiving that same message. Share positive comments and content and uplift others rather than engaging in drama or negativity. This is a no negativity zone. Be mindful about sharing news or information. Verify sources. You don't want to be that person passing around bad information, because honestly, bad information, that's the same as a lie. Remember that there are real human beings behind, I guess it could be a bot, but there's real human beings behind those keyboards on the other end, behind those comments. Words can hurt. That's where cyberbullying and things like that come from. What about when you're in public spaces? When you're out in public, make sure that you're acknowledging service workers. Eye contact, a smile, a thank you. That's the little things that make a big difference. Make sure that you specifically acknowledge law enforcement, firefighters, and veterans and thank them for their service. Remember, they've given up part of their lives to make you and those around you much safer. Be mindful of shared spaces. Clean up after yourself. Make sure that you're not too loud. When you're in a restaurant, I used to tell my kids, nobody should be able to hear you outside of this booth. Put the salt and pepper shakers back. Stack up your dishes. Make things a little bit easier on the server. Offer to help those around you that might need it, whether that's holding the door, whether that's giving directions, whether it's giving $1 to somebody that might be in need. For God's sake, hold the doors for women and seniors. Be patient with others who are moving slower than you, whether they're just have a slower pace or maybe they have a cane or something like this. Just a small editor's note for those of you that might be thinking about doing a YouTube channel, or maybe you have one. It's at this point where I realized that I probably spent the last 6 minutes looking at the wrong spot for the camera. If you found value in this discussion, you might find some value in this video right over here. And remember, the way that we treat each other matters, not just in the grand moments, but in every small, little, everyday interaction that makes up our lives. Be good to one another.